Hi everybody, this is Dee at Aloha Astro, and today we are looking at a full moon that occurred in the cardinal air sign of Libra at 3 a.m. on March 25th, 2024. And we had a partial eclipse at the same time, which would intensify that full moon energy. So let's take a look at the forecast for how this lunation might be affecting you. Full moon and eclipse in Libra, Monday, March 25th, intensifies feelings surrounding relationships, present, past, and future, as the moon opposing the sun in Aries conjunct Neptune in Pisces forms a trine aspect to Pluto in Aquarius, as Pluto is sextile to the sun and Neptune, while squaring Mercury conjunct Chiron and the North Node in Aries. Although the Libra moon was still a few degrees away from the South Node at 3 a.m. EST when it was at its fullest, it joins the South Node during waking hours over the course of the day, as it opposes the North Node in Aries, increasing your interest in the karmic significance of your connections and interactions with others. A full moon can bring something to a culmination, and an eclipse can bring something that was unknown or unseen to your awareness. Venus conjunct Saturn in Pisces, sextile to Jupiter conjunct Uranus in Taurus, can make you aware of the enduring strength and healing nature of love in all its forms, no matter how change, growth, and the passage of time alter you or the other person. Pisces rules the 12th house of other planes of existence and the sea of infinite possibilities, and Libra rules the 7th house of one-on-one relationships. So you may be able to see your past life story when you dream or meditate, or telepathically communicate with someone who is not with you now. Pluto square to the Aries planets can activate fear, resistance, grief, or pain associated with relationships, which you will be required to face and hopefully heal. Though lovers be lost, love shall not, and death shall have no dominion, is a line from the Dylan Thomas poem, And Death Shall Have No Dominion, which is an excellent study guide for understanding the power of this lunation. And I just absolutely love this image that I found today because it captures the essence of everything, particularly if you read that poem. Let's take a look at what's going on in the sky. I'm sorry, my voice is really not with me today. I will be taking the rest of the day off to give my voice a break, and I am available the rest of the week. There are openings, but I need a little bit of time for letting these vocal cords relax a bit. So we've got that moon opposing the sun, and there's Neptune nearby. We also have that Venus and Saturn conjunction. Pluto is a major player, and that, of course, is the planet of power, control, crisis, upheaval, transformation, resurrection, death. It's an intense planet. Anything that Pluto connects with will become more. Pluto blows things up, literally inflates things and makes things more intense. So it is interacting through that trine to the moon and that sextile to the sun and Neptune, as well as that square to Mercury, Chiron, and the North Node. And even though we have early degrees of that full moon at 5 degrees, as the day goes on, we're having that move along and join that South Node. So the lunar nodes are very much highlighted at this full moon and eclipse, which brings in that whole karma, purpose, fate, destiny, when it comes to who we are individually and who we are interacting with, because we have the relationship axis of Aries, the self, and Libra, self and the other, at play in both the full moon right now and the lunar nodes. And then we bring in the energy of Chiron, which can point to things that may be chronic or long-term, that are painful or in need of healing. And it may be that it's time to entirely let go of a relationship, or to look at your past and work at finding some peace within yourself. Um, but definitely revelations are possible when you have a full moon with an eclipse. I like the sextiles that are going on here with Saturn and Venus to Jupiter and Uranus. It's kind of saying that nothing can change love. There can be growth and change in many other ways, and the natural order of life is for us to continue to expand and grow and go through changes. But Venus conjunct Saturn does support the enduring energy of the quality of love, that it can take on different forms, or we can move on, or people can leave us, but the love never goes away. It's always still there. And the Sun, Neptune, and Pluto also would bring up the longing, the yearning, the memories, or the spiritual understanding behind the intense feelings that you might have towards somebody. Let's take a look at, oh, and before we leave here, it is a rather simple and succinct chart because we have a great deal of energy in a bowl on one side as we run through Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, and Taurus. And then the planet that forms the handle of this basket, this is a basket chart, all the energy that's in the bottom of the basket or bowl basically is pulled by that moon in Libra. So we have the moon drawing upon everything that's down here. And this sesqui-square here can also be felt, but it's kind of a wordless feeling. It's not something that you might recognize or understand, but it may be that you know something needs to change. You feel and sense that something needs to change and grow or get better in some way in order for you to move on or for a relationship to improve. And you would be seeking that. That's something that would drive you beyond the potential obsessive desire that can come from a moon trine to Pluto to bring about that change and transformation within the relationship. The planets that are on the edges of the bowl are a driving force as well. So we have Uranus, change, Pluto, transformation and empowerment. Going to another level seems to be what this speaks of. And in the realm that has to do with the material world, consider what it is that you do for others that can support you financially, or what you are receiving in the work that you do for others in terms of the financial support, and whether that has to change in some way. The lunar nodes will highlight life purpose, particularly the North Node. That is why we're here, what we're working toward in our own natal charts individually, wherever we have our North Node. And because it is in Aries right now, that puts a lot of emphasis on realizing that nobody's going to tell you what to do with your life, or they shouldn't be. You should be figuring out what to do with your life, and following what feels to be your path or destiny. And the South Node can point to the path of least resistance, or what feels familiar and comfortable, whatever comes naturally. So finding your own sense of self in what you do. And we have planets that have to do with the material world. Taurus rules the second house of money, and Jupiter is a planet of growth and abundance. Perhaps self-esteem, self-worth, and being respected because we have Venus conjunct Saturn. I would say it's a two-way street, which is what the Aries Libra energy would be bringing forward, and that it may be important to seek an equal distribution of wealth or a proper balance of power and control in your working life and your financial life, as well as your relationships and romantic side of life. So self-worth, self-esteem, values, money can definitely be triggered, and improvements can be made while we have that Venus-Saturn conjunction in Pisces. I would say that right now, nothing is impossible. Some things are definitely more probable, and it really depends upon how much you desire something and what your commitment toward it is, as well as your belief that you can have it, because we have Neptune with the Sun, and that will emphasize your ability to believe that you can have something or someone. It may also bring up at this full moon and lunation a realization that there is something or somebody that you may not have materially and physically in this life, but that doesn't mean you are not energetically connected. All right, let's take a look at the Sabian symbol. We round up from, let me make sure I have the degree correct, 5 degrees 7 minutes to 6 degrees, and we are at the second level, emotional cultural. Libra 6 degrees. A man watches his ideals taking a concrete form before his inner vision. Keynote: the need to visualize clearly one's dreams or ideals in order to make them truly effectual. According to a French proverb, what is well conceived can easily be formulated. The process of interior visualization can be quite essential, except in the case of a creative individual who has become a totally pure channel for the descent of spiritual power, and a clear lens through which the archetype in the mind of man or God can be projected without distortion wherever needed. In other cases, the creative act is less direct. A man projects into the world what he has seen reflected on the screen of his individualized consciousness. This is the first stage of the 38th fivefold sequence of symbolized phases in the process of individualized existence. It is a phase of interior formulation in preparation for a creative projection of one's ideals or concepts. Outside of relationship, what Libra represents is often the seeking of perfection, and because it is a Venus-ruled sign, it has strong aesthetic sense. It is associated with the art and design that usually has specific and very precise methods behind it, like music, dance, fashion design, interior design, architecture, where measurements or the precision, such as musical notes, are followed. So I can definitely see correspondences here in terms of the creativity. Taurus is another Venus-ruled sign, and Pisces, where we find Venus, is with constructive Saturn, and the 12th house, which is ruled by Pisces, is the house and sign of, well, anything is possible, or the all that is, the muse, the inspiration that brings forth beauty, healing, and inspiration. So there are strong artistic and creative elements in here. Definitely the ability to manifest more on the material level if your willpower, determination, faith, and the actions that you take upon that are, if you believe in them, basically, you are likely to manifest what you desire. time spent in meditation at any full moon or new moon will always reveal something to you. And if there is something or someone that has a purpose in your life, the lunar nodes, as well as the intuitive opening that we have right now in terms of telepathic communication or um, precognition, remote viewing or remote influencing can definitely help you as well in knowing what you're supposed to be doing or what you can create through those visions. All right, I think that's it. This is the precursor to a new moon and another eclipse, a solar eclipse that is coming on April 8th. A lot of people have been asking me about that and kind of skipping over the fact that we have this full moon, but this is setting the stage because we get the other side of things when we have that new moon occurring in Aries. So we're going to be back to the same relationship axis of self and the other, but you will probably gain greater clarity about yourself at the time of that new moon coming up on April 8th. But that's when we'll meet again. And unless you talk with me personally in the next 2 weeks to learn more about where is this all happening in your own natal chart, because that extrapolates this beyond how this is affecting society as a whole, it's definitely going to be altered by the lens of the particular houses or any planets that you have that are in Aries, Libra, or particularly the cardinal signs would all be feeling this full moon and new moon potentially a bit more intensely than any of the other signs. So if you are an Aries, Cancer, Libra, or Capricorn, these two eclipses and this full moon and new moon occurring in Libra and Aries may be more strongly felt for you if you have planets in any of those cardinal signs. Okay, take care, stay safe, and I'll be back here in 2 weeks.